Welcome into the Eric Zane Show podcast, the daily show where I discuss news, nonsense, and my personal adventures. Thank you so much for being here once again. Oh, boy. Still sleeping solo. Solo. Rise. Queen of the Forest has had this hellacious cough. I mean, so bad. It was like dry and hacking, and it sounded like, that little thing dangling in the back of her throat was going to come flying out of there at any minute. She's in like the spare bedroom, And lately, though, the cough is starting to break up. Amanda says test again. I've tested several times. And it's almost over. Whatever it is that's bothering her is definitely not COVID. We've been all about testing. Quit assuming that we won't. You don't know everything. Hush up. Jesus. Goddamn. The last thing I ever want to do is take my medical advice from Amanda. Don't get me started. You're already part of the 4 horsemen of annoying. Don't wrestle another spot from our pal Kenny. Yeah, no shit, test. Who are you, my brother? I get that all the time from my brother. Yeah, you should get another doctor. What? Oh, thanks. I appreciate your advice. Jesus. Now this cough has gotten to be the point where it's like, it sounds all wet. One of those deals. I'm like, oh God. So it's breaking up. The other day, and then, she gets triggered. If the cough starts getting triggered, then it's like you can't shut it down. And one of the things that causes that is, believe it or not, speaking. Which makes sense. So I'm like, yeah, I would talk as little as possible because the more you cough, it just wears you out. It's a fucking nightmare. Now my wife has this awful habit of when she wants to speak, the first thing she does is puts as much food as possible in her mouth. Is there anyone in your life who does this? She does it. She puts so much food in her mouth that when she does start to speak, you can't even understand any words. I mean, it's like there's a dick in there. I'm like, stop. Don't do that. And then she laughs hysterically because she's done it again. I've seen her, honest to God. She's wanted to say something, and she's had a fork full of food. And then she's looking, and then I'll ask her a question. Or she comes up with something she wants to say, and she'll go, put the food in there, and then go, and I'm like, why? And then she gets mad when you tell her. And I go, well, I want you to know in here. It's like a kid. It's like having a child. And I'm like, well, I want to tell you about it in here because then when we go out to eat with a room full of people, they won't be thinking, who's this fucking inmate that's with us? Who is this cave woman that's with us? Which I think is a great point. Out of the blue, Amy, of all people, writes, maybe she's practicing so she can talk with dick in her mouth. What? I did not, I would expect that out of like Corey. That's hysterical. Anyway. She's at the dinner table, and then she inhales to talk, and like a pound of hamburger goes down her throat. Well, actually down, you got the one that goes into your stomach and the one that goes into your lungs. The hamburger went down the one that goes into your lungs. And she immediately, she starts choking. But we all thought it was just, something happened that triggered the cough. But no, she's totally choking. Now, she's not, there's air coming out, so it's not serious or anything like that. But she gets up and walks away and starts coughing hysterically. So then I follow her into the bathroom because I want to make sure she's all right, and she's puking. This has caused the gag reflex, and now everything that she ate for dinner she's throwing up. And I'm like, so I go in there and I rub her back. She's done barfing. All the food that she ate is in the toilet. She's just completely thrown up. And she's upset. And I said it. I go, hey, honey, you can't do that anymore. You have to. It's like a kid. I go, you got to stop putting food in your mouth and then big breath of air to talk. And if there's food in there, just don't talk. Why? I don't understand. It's like this embedded habit. God damn. And she was all upset. I didn't give her the business too bad. I said, yeah, you're gonna hurt yourself. You could have. It could have been a whole lot worse. I could have had to do the Heimlich maneuver on you. I mean, that'd be horrible. Meanwhile, while that is going on, I'm telling a story, and all these women are talking about is dicks in their mouth. Amy says, I've been in this group too long. And then she adds, maybe she wants to be able to have a conversation whilst giving head. Amanda breaks it down further with Amy. If she's got a bad gag reflex, there's no way she can talk while having a dick in her mouth. There's like a counterpoint about mouth dick. All I'm trying to do is discuss with you. She has this awful habit of talking with food in her mouth, and you scumbags can't stop talking about dicks and mouths. Holy shit. What is going on here? All right. Well underway. This is how it's going to be on the Eric Zane Show podcast. Today is the 1,170th edition of this show. Yesterday, I had the Patreon bonus podcast, and it was done. All I had to do was hit publish, and I forgot. I'm sorry about that. So today you have, right now, the yesterday's Patreon is there. Chock full of nonsense. Chris refers to the women that are having this discussion, which this is a fine discussion. For some reason, Chris in Maine refers to these women as whores. A lot of whores weighing in on a Tuesday. Disagree. What is wrong with women discussing something that men discuss all the time? Men discuss silly sex topics. I know I do all the time. And I think it's important to note that sometimes women do that too. And I look at that as a high point, a honor, if the women in this group speak as freely as they do as like men do. So I think Chris there just earned a nomination for Asshole of the Day for suggesting that they're whores because that is what they're talking about. Corey suggests it's unbecoming of a lady. Oh, I disagree. I think it's to me that is becoming. That's very becoming of a lady. If women are talking about something like that as freely as a guy would, that to me is a stalwart, legendary approach that needs to be hailed and in its triumphant glory. Chris then says, okay, then let's ask Meathead how ladylike it is for women to discuss talking with your mouth full. Wait a minute. We're talking about two different things. I think anybody talking with food in their mouth is disgusting. But just because women want to talk about dick, I mean, who gives a shit? Come on, you assholes. Get it together around here. Enough of that. All right. Coming to the realization that I will not be going up north at all during the winter. I have quite literally 2 weekends between now and like Easter free. And it's about to get busier. Legit. Every weekend I have basketball or hockey here in Grand Rapids, except for 2 weekends. Everything else is occupied. My God. And there are there's a local, here in Grand Rapids, there's a professional volleyball league. In fact, it's brand new. The whole league is brand new. It's a new basketball league or volleyball league, women's volleyball. They're called the Grand Rapids Rise. And they have 24, I don't even know what the fuck they're called, games, matches, who knows. Women's professional volleyball. And 12 of them are in Grand Rapids. So I said to these people, look, I want to be the PA announcer. And it's owned by my same bosses who own the hockey team. I go, yeah, I want that gig. And they're like, well, okay. We'll keep that in mind. Now, I don't know for sure that I have the job. Time out. Time out right now. I just noticed that we have a new subscriber. It is one of my fellow coworkers at Bosco's Pub. Multi-talented young lady by the name of Lorna. And her Twitch name is CorndogDiva24. And I've been waiting to see that name on here. Because she's like, oh, I'll check out your show. So this might be the first time that she's actually hearing me do this show. Now, she has seen Doug from Bosco's in action. When he has a shit fit. It's fantastic. All right? She is part of the crew that makes things happen there. Corey making her feel right at home with a terrible comment. Thanks for that. Kenny says that's quite the nickname immediately after discussing wieners in mouths. Now, I don't know what I've described to her before about my show. I think she has an idea of how it works around here. And she's kind of cool. Like everybody at Bosco's is pretty slick. I like them all. Welcome to you. I'm glad you're here. Brandis says, does this podcast say it's Monday or am I an idiot? No, I screwed up. It definitely says Monday. Yeah, plenty of info, plenty of storytelling from our time at Bosco's. Yesterday they closed. They were closed down over there. I guess they didn't have heat or something like that. Not that we needed it. I mean, it was actually a nice day. Tyler says, was Lorna around to witness Dougie fall and break his back on that table that we saw video footage of? I don't think so, but she may have already seen that video. It's legendary. Joe Martinez in here with the line, "Go Blue, go Harbaugh, kicks some ass." I guess Bosco's hasn't had heat since last Thursday. That's a bummer. The people who own the building, they better get that shit in order. That's the thing. If you can't open, that means, and it's the landlord's fault. Jesus. They owe Doug money. Reach out to Joe Martinez. He can help you from A&E Heating and Cooling. He can get the heat back on. Okay. This fucking Harbaugh thing. I've been all over it. Now, we all know Jim Harbaugh absolutely cheated. We all know that he made the kid got the signs, whatever the fuck it is. He was on the field. He reports to Jim Harbaugh. We know all that shit. That's actually what happened, in my opinion. But Michigan, apparently, in addition to being great at offense and being great at defense, they're also great at covering their tracks. If you are going to cheat, you have to be the leader and best at covering your tracks. No smoking gun. And they have done an excellent job at that. Michigan head coach Jim Harbaugh not being implicated by the NCAA in the sign stealing scandal. According to Ross Dellinger and Dan Wetzel of Yahoo Sports, the NCAA's findings do not connect the in-person scouting and recording of opponents' sidelines to Harbaugh. Sources say an absence of evidence essential to a potential lawsuit from the school and coach against the league. However, Big Ten Commissioner Tony Petitti is considering a multi-game suspension for Harbaugh and has faced internal pressure from league coaches and administrators to take action against the Wolverines before the NCAA investigation has completed. So, though the NCAA has no evidence against Harbaugh, it would be very, very strange then if the Big Ten did, in fact, lower the boom on Harbaugh. Dellinger and Wetzel of Yahoo say what it would set up is a potential lawsuit. So then they'd be like, well, yeah, okay, Big Ten, you may be suspending me, but you're sued because the governing body that's a larger entity than the Big Ten, the NCAA, says they got nothing. So Petitti of the Big Ten is stuck between a rock and a hard place. I mean, everybody knows Michigan did it. But if you can't prove it, you're fucked, right? Petitti and a number of Big Ten athletic directors and presidents have spent the last 2 weeks discussing potential punishments. Well, what a waste of time that is. According to Yahoo Sports, Michigan and Harbaugh are expected to take legal action against the Big Ten if any suspension for the head coach is levied. And they should. I mean, if I cheat, and I know there's no proof against me for whatever, if I cheat at podcasting and I know there's no proof that I am a podcast cheat, you bet your ass I'm going to sue somebody. Incredible. So that's where we are right now with that. I tell you what, all of this about Michigan has annoyed me. Okay? Now, even Joe Martinez here, who is a huge Michigan honk, All right? He knows full well Harbaugh cheated. He knows it. All Michigan has to have happen to it now, because all Michigan fan wants is a national championship. And they've got 3 more regular season games, 2 really hard ones with a not-so-hard one in the middle. We need 3 losses, all right, from Michigan. At Penn State, at Rutgers, Ann Arbor, they play against Ohio State. So, all right, the ship has sailed or is sailing on Harbaugh and the sign stealing. I have determined on this show he was at the heart of it all, but there is no smoking gun. But this is not a court of law. Harbaugh, Michigan, cheated. Sorry. Maryland. They play Maryland. Did I say Rutgers? What the fuck? So fingers crossed that they lose 3 in a row. Boy, that would... All you Michigan pussies would be so butthurt if they lost 3 in a row and went to the Dickhead Bowl. Oh, my God. This will be the first time that I've actually openly rooted for Ohio State. I want Penn State to win. I want them to actually do a Sandusky in the middle of the field. A play called the Sandusky. Right in Happy Valley. Michigan to lose that game and then lose at Maryland. And then they're like 9-2, and then they finish the year 9-3 because they're obliterated by the Buckeyes. I just don't like these people. I don't like I like some of the players for Michigan. Donovan Edwards, Blake Corum, and what's the fucking quarterback's name? It's something Irish. Ian McAllister. Lucas McCarthy. What the fuck is J.J. McCarthy, right? J.P. McCarthy. I like individual players on the team. It's Harbaugh. I just fucking hate Harbaugh. That's it. That guy can fuck off. Ever since he ran across the field and punched Jim Schwartz in the back, he's just too much of a fucking weirdo to me. I can't stand that guy. Joe Martinez is all over the chat. He's in danger. In fact, he's going to get a yellow card. He's got a yellow card. But I'm not going to silence him because he's a paying sponsor. Sponsors get carte blanche. It's very difficult to be a sponsor and be silenced. He has a symbolic yellow card for dominating the chat. Chris describes that Harbaugh slept with a child from Rockford High School. Yeah, I don't know if you can describe it like that. I think he visited a recruit and slept on the floor of the kid's bedroom. That in and of itself is horrible. And then all Michigan fans saying, oh, yeah, that's why he's a good coach. He sleeps with kids. Oh, I cannot stand him. Joe Martinez says, I'll show up at your house and give yellow and red. Pinche wa. I don't know what that means. That's something horrible, no doubt.
Vete a la chingada, cabrón.
Betcha?
Vete a la chingada, cabrón.
Beta. He says it so fast, I can never get it. This is why it's hard for me to say, go fuck yourself in Spanish.
Vete a la chingada, cabrón.
Vete la chingada, cabrón. I can't roll the R like he does.
Vete a la chingada, cabrón.
Vete la chingada, cabrón. Cabrón? Cabrón.
Come mis nalgas cuando yo estoy cagando, cabrón.
Are you saying cabron? C-A-B-R-O-N-E?
Come mis nalgas cuando yo estoy cagando, cabrón.
It's just impossible to me. That is eat my ass while I'm shitting. Ridiculous. All right, ladies and gentlemen. A lot to get to today, but I will do it minus the crowd on Facebook, X, and YouTube. If you want the rest of this show, you cabron, you have to go to Twitch. Download the Twitch app and search Eric Zane Live, and off you go. There's an audio podcast wherever you download shows. Subscribe, rate, and review on Apple Podcasts, please. My Patreon is available for you, patreon.com/Eric Zane for 1 week free. That's right. If you like the free podcast, you'll really like ad-free, listener-supported Patreon, and I give it away for free for 1 week. Sign up at patreon.com/Eric Zane. Thank you so much for the crowd on Facebook, X, and YouTube. All right. Facebook and Twitch brought to you by my friends at Irvine's Auto Repair, Grand Rapids Hybrid and EV. X brought to you by Blue Frost IT. Subscribe on all the platforms, please. All my social media, whatever. Sign up for those. Follow me. You get updates of what's going on. All right. Trump at it again. Now, this is incredible. Trump, my God. Now, he is on trial. All right. It is a civil fraud trial. $250 million civil fraud trial. He's accused of inflating the value of his properties like Trump Tower and Mar-a-Lago, and then using those properties to get loans. And the suggestion that he lied and was not honest about the value of those properties is why they're accusing him of being a fraud, a big fraud. Now, in the New York courtroom, he is sitting like half a foot away from this judge, screaming at the judge, and the judge is screaming back at him. And, oh, my God, it's so fucking incredibly awkward. And all we have is written testimony and court sketches, which whoever is drawing Trump goes out of their way to make him look like a crazed, sadistic idiot. This is incredible. Audio check, video check. Let us begin.
Republican frontrunner Donald Trump was center stage today in Manhattan as the rest of the field readies to debate in Miami.
By the way, that's his lawyer. She is such a babe. Of course, his main lawyer, one of his main lawyers, is a total babe. He's always surrounded by the hottest chicks.
He was the center of an extraordinary legal and political moment, taking the witness stand at his civil fraud trial. His testimony framed by flashes of anger, defiance, and disdain for the process, defending himself against allegations he inflated the value.
It's like when he's interviewing lawyers. The first thing he does is says, "All right, I will only accept applications to be my lawyer from hot chicks." That's step number one.
Valuation of his assets to get more favorable treatment on bank loans.
Staring at the camera. It's like he's staring into my soul. God damn.
It comes 1 year before the 2024 presidential election, with Mr. Trump the leader by a wide margin. Today in court, Mr. Trump again attacked the trial as election interference and called it ridiculous. At one point, the judge telling Mr. Trump's lawyer to control him, saying this isn't a political rally. None of it seems to be having an effect on Mr. Trump's political fortunes so far. New polling showing him leading President Biden in 5 key battleground states. We'll get to that in a moment. But first, senior legal correspondent Laura.
He is going to kick ass. Oh, we are all doomed. Okay? All of us, we've been talking shit about Trump for 4 years. We are going to be like locals running through the street in Gaza. That's going to be us. We are fucked.
Laura Jarrett on the former president's day in court.
Tonight, a combative Donald Trump testifying for hours
Look at that lawyer. What a babe.
in a Manhattan courtroom with his real estate empire on the line.
This trial is ridiculous.
Mr. Trump showing flashes of anger.
She's not even a lawyer. He just says, all right, you're hot. Just stand next to me in all these images. When people take pictures, you better be standing. She probably even speak English.
He sparred with the judge and the New York Attorney General's office, brushing off accusations that he doctored financial.
See what he's doing right there? He's zipping his lip. But look at this guy. He looks intense. Every time he leaves the courtroom, he mouths off. And then the judge, get your ass back in here, and yells at him.
Statements to inflate the value of some of his most well-known properties, like Mar-a-Lago, Trump Tower, and 40 Wall Street, all to defraud banks and lenders.
But at the end of the day, the only thing that matters.
This is the woman prosecuting him.
Are the facts and the numbers. And numbers, my friends, don't lie.
Already found liable for fraud, the former...
Look at him. Look at how intense. Even when he's just sitting there, he always looks so goddamn pissed. There could be a calendar of Trump doing things that you wouldn't expect, like, I don't know, riding a pony, having a good time, at a cookout.
President now trying to fend off a $250 million penalty, growing heated today when pressed.
Look at this Christine Cornell is the artist. It's like she went out of her way to make him look super fucked up.
About whether he...
Every sketch artist does this the same way. They always... It's like a class to do fucked up sketches.
Overvalued assets found in the Trump Organization's annual financial statements. His face turning red, raising his voice, pointing directly at the judge.
Sounds like Kenny when something bad happens from Z-Speed.
Judge seated inches away, yelling, he called me a fraud, and he didn't know anything about me.
There's nothing wrong with being called a fraud.
A reference to the judge's pretrial decision that ruled in the state's favor. Also going after the Attorney General herself. Watching on in the courtroom, Mr. Trump calling her a political hack.
I will not be bullied. I will not be harassed. This case will go on.
And Mr. Trump did make some concessions, admitting today he probably saw some of the disputed financial statements that went to banks and lenders, while repeatedly dismissing them as not important because they included certain disclaimers, saying today that his net worth is actually far greater than what's reflected in his financial statements, touting the value of the Trump brand.
The numbers are much greater than on the financial statement. And we've already proven that. They said Mar-a-Lago's worth $18 million. Mar-a-Lago's worth anywhere from probably 50 to 100 times more than that.
The judge's patience tested at times by that same rhetoric on the witness stand, calling parts of Mr. Trump's testimony irrelevant and rambling, warning the Republican frontrunner, this is not a political rally.
And Laura, Mr. Trump's lawyers also signaling today they plan to ask for a mistrial.
That's right, Lester. Mr. Trump's defense attorneys believing that the judge and his law clerk are somehow biased against him, saying that they intend to file that mistrial motion soon. But for now, Lester, this case moves forward with Ivanka Trump set to testify Wednesday morning.
All right. Something else from that was interesting. During all of that, there's an article, 5 memorable moments from Trump's chaotic testimony in New York fraud trial. He was under oath. Him and the judge clashing. Judge Engeron and Trump frequently wrangled about the former president's day-long testimony. After Trump aired his frustration over Democrat prosecutors and attorneys general coming after him, Engeron asked him to keep the political answers to a minimum. I'd like to move things along a little faster, please. No speeches, which drew objection from Trump attorney Chris Kise. A few questions later, Trump took aim at the judge. I'm sure the judge will rule against me because he always rules against me. The guy's sitting right next to him. In what became a makeshift stump speech from the witness stand, Trump's political statements and attacks against the judge persisted throughout the morning, causing Engoron to lodge repeated objections to the former president's winding responses to the state's questions. Mr. Kais, can you control your client? This is not a political rally. As the undisputed front runner in the GOP presidential primary, it was all but impossible for Trump's testimony to remain apolitical. At one point, he complained that Democrat prosecutors and state attorney generals, all Trump haters, he said, began to come after him. Weaponization, they call it, Trump said. This part was great. State lawyer Kevin Wallace drew attention to Trump's 2020 presidential loss amid reviewing the former president's financial statements. Quote, I was so busy in the White House, Trump said when asked about the Trump Organization's 2021 statements of financial condition, calling his priorities China, Russia, and keeping our country safe. So the lawyer said, look, I want to talk about the Trump Organization 2021 statements, said the prosecutor. Well, no, I don't know about that. I mean, I was in the White House keeping the country safe from China and Russia. This is a 2021 statement. And Trump was president until 2020. He said, well, just to clarify, Mr. President, you weren't president in 2021, were you? Pause. No, I wasn't. Replied Trump. Oh, fuck. So he kind of talked him into a corner. Yeah, what about these 2021 statements? It said you did this, that, and the other thing. Oh, I was busy keeping America safe in the White House. I don't know about that. You weren't. Oh, no. As Trump answered questions about his 40 Wall Street property, he snidely remarked that the property's valuation at $550 million was a very low number. He says, all you have to do is look at a picture of the building to know that. After that remark, the judge admonished Trump's lawyer to take control of his client. I would think, Your Honor, that you would want to hear everything that President Trump has to say. The judge said, no, I do not want to hear everything he has to say because Trump's taking too fucking long to give answers. Engoron angrily replied while Trump shook his head and smiled. I am not here, and these people are not here to hear what he has to say. We are here to hear him answer questions. It's very simple. Is this an accurate number? It's very simple. Unprompted, former President Trump said this is a very unfair trial. Very, very, and I hope the public is watching. God, this is fucking sweet. Why isn't this on TV? I love it when Trump's pissed. If Trump's enraged, it's great. This is awesome TV. At least a pay-per-view, I'd pay for it. Instead, I have to read this shit and look at his terrible sketch artist draw pictures of him looking like a monster. Linda says, I'm shocked he didn't say he was president in 21. Corey says anything not overwhelmingly in his favor is automatically unfair. Corey says insults judge repeatedly, then gets mad the judge doesn't like him. Chris says it seems like the judge might not be so impartial. Well, maybe that's why they're going to try to get it thrown out. I wonder if Trump is available. Linda has a good suggestion. You know, I always think about it last minute, being that we can just call him up anytime we want and see what's up. Not a bad idea. It's been a week or so since we talked to him. Occasionally, I'll see him here in the chat.
Good morning. This is America's favorite and most hunted president, probably probably the most hunted person in this country, Donald Trump.
Mr. President, good morning. How are you?
Big fraud, Zane. Tremendous. Thank you so much for the call this morning. What do I owe thee? Great pleasure.
Well, I just saw that things were getting pretty intense yesterday.
It's terrible. It's terrible. I was in downtown Lower Manhattan courthouse testifying yesterday. Probably the biggest witch hunt in our great country. Crooked Joe Biden and his agents and surrogates in these election interference scam is what it is. The judges so impartial. It's like a third world country when you think about it. It's terrible.
So you'll be back in there today? I mean, it took you to talk for like 3 hours on the stand yesterday.
No, I'm not going to be back, but they're taking my beautiful children. They're taking my beautiful children. They've already had Eric and Don Jr. have already done it. And then, of course,
Ivanka, yeah.
my beautiful daughter will be doing it very soon. Not Tiffany, but my beautiful daughter will be doing it very soon.
What about the young one? What's his name? Barron? What is he, about 20 now? 18, 16? I have no idea.
You can't be asking questions about my children that aren't in the public. Melania does not want Barron brought out into the public. You can't do that.
Sorry about that.
So unfair. By the way, I think you would understand probably what's going on bigger than anyone, big fraud there. This is the most fraudulent case ever thrown into our great country. It's so terrible. Actually, what's happening with this whole thing, it's terrible.
Well,
because I'm leading in all of the swing states, which is your state, by the way.
Yes.
I'm leading so bigly. I've got probably the biggest lead. Joe Biden is going to be destroyed so fast. You're going to see. They don't even need to hold the election. If you think about it, the polls are showing great numbers.
Well, and I think that we just look at 2016. You have a bigger lead in this whole process than you did back then. So anybody with a brain can figure out what's going on here. It's a complete whitewash. I mean, Jesus, in 2016, we were only concerned about the other Republican candidates, but who cares about them? We're looking at you and Biden, and you're already kicking his ass.
It's so true. And I mean, they've got this entire New York justice system and probably the most fraudulent in the sense that these are elected Democrats. You know, the woman that's running the whole thing, she's an elected Democrat who campaigned for office on a vow that she would use her power against me, which is so terrible. I mean, who would do that? I would never do that. Of course, I would never do that.
I see that they're suggesting that Mar-a-Lago is worth $18 million, and that seems insane to me. You said 50 to 100 times that.
Big fraud. Get this, legal scholars agree that this case should never have been brought, and it would have been, it totally wouldn't have been because if I wasn't running. If I wasn't running, they would never have brought this. But the truth is, you just have to look at photographs of Mar-a-Lago. Right. You know that it's worth so much. Mayor Rudy, our great Mayor Rudy, he went shopping for a home right now, real estate in the area where my Mar-a-Lago is. There's homes worth hundreds of millions of dollars, big fraud, and they're not even near the lake or the ocean. So I'm on a lake and an ocean and a pool. You wouldn't believe what I've got at my Mar-a-Lago.
Are you suggesting
actually
all the judge really needed to do was enter in these addresses on Zillow, and he could have gotten a much better estimate than what is being suggested in court?
Well, of course. And you know, Mar-a-Lago is worth hundreds of millions, at least 50 times what they're saying it's worth. You know, I tried to buy the Buffalo Bills not too long ago, a few years ago now, but I tried to buy them and the same thing came up and I said, Mar-a-Lago is worth so much money you wouldn't even believe how much money it's worth. You could just play so much money.
Yeah, you could just play the games at Mar-a-Lago if you wanted to. I mean,
that's what I'm saying. The Buffalo Bills, they could have used me. I'm telling you, I probably could have turned the whole organization around. But of course that didn't happen. And now we've got a witch hunt, probably the biggest witch hunt ever perpetrated in the entire country.
Okay, well, that's and it got pretty contentious with this judge. Very, very, very cranky between you two. Is there any?
He's such a piece of shit. I think he's a bigger piece of shit than you, actually. You know, he's so disgusting looking if you look at him. I think he's uglier than Ron DeSanctimonious. But I think if you look at him, he's probably pretty upset because he wants all this press. He's getting this press, and maybe it's not going the way that he wants it to. Look, if loving this great nation is a crime, then lock me up and throw away the key because I'm guilty as charged. Since when is loving these great United States, by the way, Big Fraud, I was reading the other day. Did you know that U.S., like us, that's United States, us.
Yeah.
Big Fraud.
I saw you talking about that you put that one together, that when you take the U in United and the S in States, it spells us.
Tremendous. I'm probably the first to ever come up with it, but that's us. That's us. I mean, us, we're on trial if you think about it.
That's really, that's so.
He's sleazy Joe Biden. He doesn't want you to know that. He doesn't want you to know that it's all about us.
Boy,
I'm on trial, but really the United States is on trial if you think about it.
It's staggering in its simplicity, and it's staggering that you think that you came up with that. That's just seeing the light bulb go on was fantastic.
Well, I'm probably the most highest IQ president to ever set foot in the White House, and like I said, I'm leading in the polls. The polls don't lie. The polls don't lie unless they're lying. I know when they're lying, but this time they're not lying, and they say that Donald Trump is going to be the next president of the United States, and you still have people like fat-ass Chris Christie.
Right.
Fat-ass Chris Christie and Ron DeSanctimonious and all these people. They're trying, I don't know what they're trying to do, but they should just drop out. They're wasting so much money. Talk about wasted money. I mean, that's where the money is getting wasted, Big Fraud.
Well, yeah, sir. Now we have, right now, I think it's 365 days from now to Election Day, or maybe 364 now. So in 1 year, this may be the day after the election. And you expect to be celebrating a victory?
Oh, I think probably the biggest victory ever seen. I think, they say Harry Truman, that Dewey defeats Truman. It's not going to be like that at all. This is going to be such a clear landslide. I think it's going to be the biggest landslide in American history. I think the great patriots of our country are so tired of Joe Biden. I mean, this guy should be locked up in a retirement home. I
don't know if he should.
These clips of him?
I don't know if we need to lock up the President Biden. I think maybe he should be in a hot tub relaxing.
I don't know about a hot tub. I think he needs cognizant help. I think he needs people assisted living. I think he needs all sorts of things.
I don't disagree.
They have to walk him up to the podium.
Yes,
it's so sad.
yes,
I mean,
it is
you see
sad.
me, I'm dancing to the podium. Dancing to the podium.
And you're only a few years younger than him. You're 3 years younger than him.
I'm like 30 years younger than him, if you think about it. I mean, cognizantly with the IQ levels and such forth. I mean, he can't even keep his eyes open. I think we compare him on your program to like a dried up piece of roast beef. I mean, the guy can't even keep his eyes open. His sockets are barely open. It's so terrible.
Sir, finally, we're now a week removed from your big appearance on the Free Beer and Hot Wings show. A lot of their audience have weighed in at how much they love you. What's next for you and our dear pals at Free Beer and Hot Wings?
That's the program I called into last week. The thing is, the thing about them is, they've got big numbers. You know how I like numbers. I like ratings. I like numbers.
Right.
They claim to have the best ratings, like a 30 share or something ridiculous. So I think it's a good connection to have. I think your old pal, this is your old show, right? This is your old show.
Yes, I used to work for these people.
It's kind of funny, actually. You have such little in common, but I think Hot Wings and Free Beer. I think Free Beer especially. I think he really liked me. I think we hit it off.
Oh, I
think he really was a fan.
They all liked you except Steve. Steve was calling you out. I don't know what his deal was. He said it wasn't
He's
even
a typical piece of shit. Actually, he's a lot like this judge.
Okay. All right.
He doesn't understand. He doesn't understand. Steve's terrible. I don't know how anyone likes Steve. How does he even have a job?
I don't know either. He's horrible. You're absolutely right.
Tell me this. I mean, you're the radio expert. I haven't done a lot with radio. The most I did was with Stern. But why are all these people, especially this little girl in the corner, why do they all have microphones? I don't understand it. Tell me this.
I can't speak to that. It's been years since I've known these people, but all I know is
I've never called into a radio show and had to talk on the air with the producer. I usually talk to the producer before we go on. And on their show, they got the producer right there. I'm talking to them live.
Right.
It's so crazy.
Yeah,
I don't understand it.
I don't know. I think that's their thing. That's kind of like they're trying to.
They have no content. They need to bring the puny producers out. Is that what you're saying?
I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying I can't even speak to that because I've never seen it before. I've never seen a show that every single person gets a microphone when they walk in the room.
Well, when you were on their program, I didn't listen, of course, because the numbers were so much smaller back then.
Yeah.
But, I mean, they're so big now. They got a 30 share or something like that.
Yes, that's true.
But when you were on, did they have these producers? Did they have the microphones and all that? Or did you have the microphone?
They had microphones, but they weren't on unless we asked them to speak.
See, that's how it should be. That's how it totally should be. I mean, you don't want to give just anyone a microphone.
No,
I mean, goddamn, I was on The Apprentice, for Christ's sakes. I would never let why would I? That's like letting my producer go say, you're fired or something. That's so stupid.
It absolutely is, sir. I agree with you. I agree with you. I'm glad that
we agree on a lot of things. I think that's why it's probably going to be a great year for us, you and me. We're going to do great campaigning, Big Fred.
All right, Mr. President, I can't say that I'll be campaigning for you, but it's always good to have you on this show. There's a debate tonight that you will not be at. Chris Christie, Vivek Ramaswamy, Nikki Haley.
I'll be watching, of course. It's so stupid that they're doing this thing. I mean, I'm leading by dozens and dozens of digits. It's terrible. It's terrible. They're like 2%. They got like 2% of this thing.
Right.
The sanctimonious, by the way, before we go, have you seen this Rhonda Sanctimonious? He's walking around with these like women boots or something. He's like, have you seen these things?
Yes. It's a cowboy boot with an insert so that his foot is elevated like he's in a woman's high heel, but it's like a shoe in a shoe.
It's ridiculous. I mean, he can't even walk in them. He's walking around the stage like a prissy little cat. I mean, he should drop out. He should totally drop out. He's so fake. Everyone knows you're a short, puny man. Just lead with it, you know. I don't know why he thinks that looks good. It's such a terrible look. Such a terrible look. Not a strong look for a leader.
I'm looking at the boot right now, and they curl up in the toe in an odd way. It's oh, Jesus Christ. There's example after example.
It reminds me, I don't know if you know this, of course, because I'm the smartest president in maybe American history. Do you know this? The Chinese, the women in China, Big Fred, they have to wrap their feet at a young age. They try to keep them as small and puny as they can because they're very attractive to these Chinese men. They want tiny, tiny, tiny little feet on these Chinese women. That's kind of what the sanctimonious is doing, if you think about it.
I know that his boots look ridiculous, and he's trying to make people think that he's taller. This guy is fucked up. I thought he had a chance of beating you, but he's an absolute fucking piece of shit. Jesus Christ.
It's tragic because the only guy that really stands a chance, I think, is fat-ass Chris Christie, and he can't get it together. He can't get it together.
No, I don't know. Nikki Haley's all right. This Vivek guy, I don't like him.
Well, I mean, she's going to be my vice presidential candidate. I probably shouldn't have said that, but she's just there for that purpose.
Okay. Well, she hasn't really challenged, said anything bad about you. Christie's been going after you hard, so.
Which is so funny because, you know, he was my chief campaign advisor in 2020, and he did a lot for me in 2016.
Yeah, and now here he is calling you Donald Duck, for fuck's sake.
Well, I mean, look at him. He's so fat. I mean, he's so fat, he probably doesn't even know where he is. I know when you get so fat, your brain stops working.
I haven't heard that. He's so fat, he doesn't know where he is? What?
That's right. I mean, well, he knows where he is, but his brain isn't working. It's totally I know you run a group of fat people, and a lot of times you're trying to get these people to think because
that's true.
They can't think.
Yeah, the fattest members of our group, we can't even control them. They're like, they go one direction, they're happy. The next day, they're ready to throw themselves out of the window. You're right. Fat people are fucked up.
Totally the worst, the highest fucked up, and that's because I'm so skinny. I know these things. I'm probably the skinniest guy. I know a thing or two about losing weight because I've never needed to do it.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you're in tip-top shape, sir.
Perfect health, absolutely perfect health. I could probably live for another 50 years, they say. That's what they're saying.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Sir, hey, it's as always, it's spectacular you joining us, and good luck today.
Thank you so much, Big Fred. Thank you for the call, by the way. It was a great call. I think I'm liking the way we're ending these calls lately. We're like on good terms or something.
Well,
I don't know.
Yeah, before you would just like get angry and hang up on me. Oh, Jesus. There he goes. All right. On that note, I got to take a break. Thank you to Trump. I will be back. Maureen writes, the abrupt hang-up, even without the angry tirade, is still funny when it comes to our pal Trump. Linda says, this made my treadmill time go so much faster. Well done. EZ at it again yesterday with my walk. Glad you're still doing it. Hope everybody still has their eyes on the prize. You know? Oh, my God. Patrick says, what did everyone do for Sandwich Day on Friday? I didn't know that was a thing. I hadn't heard of that. At our house on Sunday, we had family dinner, and I actually made food off of a TikTok video. I don't know if I'd make it again, but everybody seemed to like it. It's some hillbilly on there who says you take... Hang on, let me get it for you. I made this exact thing. There's no real name for it. Mashed potatoes and burgers and hamburger steaks. It wasn't a TikTok video. It was a reel. That's what it was, a reel. Check this out. I did this on Sunday.
Kill it with a little oil. Got these 80.
You know he's a hillbilly because he calls oil.
20 beef patties seasoned all over with salt, pepper, garlic. And about halfway done, we're going to flip them. When you get them cooked through, you want to remove them from the pan.
All right,
take
great.
a utensil and scrape the bottom good.
Okay, so now it looks terrible so far. You just got a couple of 4 grilled hamburgers. But this is going somewhere, so relax.
Add in 1 medium-sized onion, about 2 tablespoons of my wash your sister sauce.
Wash your sister sauce.
Now we're going to cook these onions down. I got the onions browned down. I'm going to add 1/3 of a cup of all-purpose flour.
Did that.
Now 1/2 tablespoon of garlic salt, Morton's Nature Seasoning,
good stuff,
and
right
black
there.
pepper. You want to stir everything in good. We're going to cook this flour some, but you need to keep it moving. 2.5 cups.
I'm waiting for this guy to go, oh, my back.
Cups of 117-degree clear sink water.
There you go. That's
Once
your
you get
gravy.
your water added in, you're going to bring this back up to a slow simmer. It's very important to keep this stirred at all times.
Yep.
Once you get your gravy reduced down
Once you get your gravy.
to your desired thickness, you want to turn off the burner and move the pan completely off the heat. Anybody else grow up eating mashed potatoes with hamburger steak on top of these mashed potatoes?
Nope. This is the first time I've eaten it.
This gravy all over.
All right. That's what we had Sunday. But my mashed potatoes were exceptional. Okay, you got to go with the russet and the Yukon Gold, a blend. Then you got to add, after they're cooked and you put them in your stand mixer, you're going to mix them by hand. You got to add butter with whole milk and some seasoning and then cream cheese. You're probably going to want this recipe. I will include it in the show notes, and then I'll probably forget. Donut Dan calls that, he writes, hillbilly heart attack, don't done mess dis up. Kyle says, this sounds good, except actually Tato mash with a burger. Maureen says, I'll pass on that one, no thank you. Kenny says he sounds like he could be a relative of mine, for sure. Yeah, but that guy's not annoying. Bob says, with that voice, I'm surprised he's not preaching cooking with propane. All right. Chris says, I saw this same video. Yeah, I love the video. The guy's great. So I tried that. But I don't know. I wasn't feeling it. Everybody else liked it, but I wasn't feeling it. Okay. Story close to home. We've been following this since Ottawa Impact took over in my beautiful county of Ottawa County. So we go back almost 1 year ago. They take over in January after winning election. They immediately wipe out the Diversity, Equity, Inclusion Office, which that to me, it's remarkable. You have those offices in place in counties to encourage new business to come and realize that this is an accepting, welcoming place. It helps to build a strong community. For some reason, the wackos on the far right think that is not needed. They wipe out the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Office. They change the name of the county, the slogan from Where You Belong. We don't need that anymore, Where You Belong. To Let Freedom Ring. They don't like the health director because during COVID, well, I think what happened in the previous group of officials, they brought in a new health director right at the end of their term. And to pay revenge politics, pay people back, they want her out because the previous administration was involved in masking people, shutting businesses down during COVID because, that's what we did back then. And that was appropriate. Where I live, if you shut a business down, they think that you're doing it because you want control of their business. When, if you think back to when COVID was hot and heavy, it was more to just keep fucking people from meeting. But idiots like this group, Ottawa Impact, think otherwise. They want their own person as health director. So this fucking asshole named Nate Kelly, who is legit, he goes and does furnace tune-ups like Joe Martinez. All right, that's what he does for a living. And he's got this fat-ass wife who goes around bitching about everything, telling him she's a fucking veteran. And she has this daughter who has been groomed to say hateful things about gay people. This all happened. The Kelly household. Now, Ottawa County has been trying to fire this health director from the previous regime, and they've been having difficulty doing it. Well, it finally came down to when it was time for budgets. They tried to cut her budget by millions of dollars. Well, then she went to social media and said, look what they're making me do. This is terrible. Well, that's why they're trying to fire her. They're trying to say that was insubordination or some shit. So they had this long, drawn-out 2 days of almost like a courtroom setting weeks ago. And then they're going to decide they're going to have a vote whether or not to fire her. So, okay, why they didn't just fire her, I don't know. But it's starting to be clear that I think they're realizing that if they fire her, they're going to get sued so fucking bad and so fast that they have to come up with something else. The legal team that is in lockstep with Ottawa County may be giving them some actual sound advice, saying if you fire her, this is going to be a financial disaster. Everything Ottawa related, Ottawa County is already a financial disaster because of the legal team that they have to pay for all of the shit that they're involved in now. It's a huge expense. Firing Adeline Hambley would also be a huge expense. So they haven't yet fired her. Okay? So, but yesterday, now they're recommending no firing, but offer her a settlement to keep her from suing them.
8 hours of meeting behind closed doors. The Ottawa County Board of Commissioners just took major action in the Adeline Hambley case. Board leaders have called for the health officer's removal, accusing her of incompetence, neglect of duty, and misconduct for telling the public in August that the health department would have to close because of substantial proposed budget cuts. News 8's Byron Tollefson has been there throughout the day and has an update now from West Olive. Byron?
Sue, just moments ago, the Ottawa County Board of Commissioners approved a settlement with Health Officer Adeline Hambly. This has been going on throughout the day. Around 9 this morning, commissioners started this morning for an expected vote on firing her. And then Chairman Joe Moss motioned to go into a closed meeting to talk with corporate counsel about Hambly's lawsuit against the board for attempting to oust her as top health officer back in January. For the next 8 hours, there were clearly negotiations going on between the board's lawyer and Hambly's lawyer. We didn't hear any update until they returned at 5 o'clock. That's when Moss motioned to accept a settlement between the two parties. The final vote was 7-3. We don't know what's exactly in that settlement, but we did catch up with Hambly's attorney after the hearing, who said she couldn't give much information, but did confirm the big question if her client still has a job.
For the next 8 days, people won't know who the health officer is in Ottawa County?
My client is the health officer. She is now, and that remains till something else changes.
After approving that settlement, Moss said that this hearing will resume this coming Tuesday at 9 o'clock. So we know that Hambly will remain health officer until at least then. And then on that date, we should find out more about her future. Live in West Olive, Byron Tollefson, News 8.
Joe Spaulding is joining us. We saw him in that video with Adeline Hambly for everything going on there. The question was asked, did she accept the settlement, Adeline Hambly? What do you know?
I have no idea about the settlement or the terms or who has accepted, which side has accepted it or not. I just know that they were behind those closed doors for 8 hours, and they came out and voted on accepting a settlement is what I thought the motion was. So I have no idea. And then the other thing that was kind of a hint, I guess, at how things are going was that the Ottawa Impact majority voted in favor of whatever that motion was. And
right.
And Doug Zylstra and Jacob Bonema and Roger Bergman voted the other way.
If they voted to fire her, but then it ultimately leads to a financial settlement, that tells me that Coleman legal team has said, yeah, if you do fire her, you're going to be sued, and this is going to be ugly.
Yeah, so they have already, like, almost preemptively, but I don't think it's been preempt. I think it was spot on timing, had been sued by Hambly, and that lawsuit, is pending to go before a judge. But if they settle, this is their chance to settle out of court beforehand, and that's a pretty strong indication that she's going to be terminated. But again, we don't know the exact details of any of it.
No.
And yeah,
if it goes like that, let's just say she's not there and there was a cash settlement, is that kind of icky? Is that weird?
I mean, it's not normal. I don't know about icky. It's all pretty gross to me, all of the stuff. But at the end of the day, if the lawyers are saying you're going to have to pay out through the nose to terminate her because the judge isn't going to buy just cause, then settling up front is the cheapest course. But they kind of, I don't know if you're a Star Trek fan or not, but they put themselves in a Kobayashi Maru. There was a no-win situation that they were fighting back there, and these pricks are trying to dig themselves out of a hole, and they have no idea which way is up. So they're going to have to do something expensive, and hopefully, it sucks that the best course of action we can hope for is that they don't burn as much money in a furnace. But it really it hurts, but it feels like they're going to fire Adeline Hambly. Right,
and probably have to pay through the nose. Some people are suggesting, though, that if she wouldn't it make more sense, though, if she's been fighting this fight for the citizens of Ottawa County to not accept any type of settlement and continue to make them, punish them in some way? Wouldn't that be a better look than accepting a cash settlement and quietly going away?
Well, so I don't know if it's not like
she's resigning. The cash settlement is on a lawsuit for wrongful termination. So the county probably and so if they settle out of court, the county gets to save face, but not money. But everybody knew what happens. These guys are terrible at public relations. So I don't know what they're what their end game is. But again, it was a no-win situation. And it was just a stupid fool's errand. Don Quixote pursuing a windmill over here was definitely what this is.
I love these references. This is fantastic. I got the Kobayashi. What'd you say was the Star Trek one?
It's the Kobayashi Maru. It's just a test that Kirk, hacked because there's no win. I don't know.
No, I like it. And then the Don Quixote. This is spectacular. You got a lot happening here. Jesus.
It helps to start with the Crucible, but I guess having all these references.
Fair enough. No. Hey, I like it. People, it doesn't matter how many get it. It's just a matter that some people do get it, and they do get it. So, all right. Now, what have you seen Nate Kelly wandering the halls through all this? Because I see your face on video all the time during these moments.
Yeah, I did not. I have not seen him at all anywhere. And right now, the state government has said they're not going to approve him or anyone if there's no vacancy for it. And the state very well could come back and say, this guy doesn't have a bachelor's degree, he's not qualified, because they didn't submit evidence of a bachelor's degree or even claim one. But I don't know what the state's going to say when they actually consider Nate Kelly, but he has not been hanging around Ottawa County or Fillmore as far as I've been seeing.
What is the status of the Lucy recall or Lucy Evil recall?
Okay, so this is something I'm super proud of. We've handed in over 3,000 signatures to the county. The county has gone through their preliminary examination of those sheets, and they've determined that a lot of parts of the form are fine and they're good, and that it looks at first glance like we have enough signatures to put her on the ballot. Right now, they're in the process of going through line by line and verifying against the qualified voter file. And checking to see that we have 2481 valid signatures. We have checked against the qualified voter file, and we have pretty close. We found for sure pretty close to 2,600 people that we signed in district in there. So we're pretty confident that we have not just enough to make the ballot, but enough to have a cushion to make any challenge of those signatures pretty questionable.
Hey, great job. You guys have spent a lot of time and energy and money making that happen.
Oh yeah, we busted ass. I mean, and a lot of people too. It was a wonderful thing to see the community come together and try to absolutely flesh out these complete morons from our county government that don't belong there.
What ballot would that be on then? Is that when would that be voted on?
So there would be a special election in May, early May.
Okay. Now that would only, if you're successful, that would eat off about half a year of her term, right?
Yep, it would take off 6 months, and it would, the way that I'm viewing it is, and I think it really is this, it's a referendum on everything that Ottawa Impact has been doing, and specifically on their attacks on the health department and Adeline Hambly. So
right.
That's in the language of the recall itself. Adeline Hambly's name is in it.
Tyler in the chat is suggesting you explain the recall process with either a Star Wars or Star Trek reference.
No, now I'm put on the spot. And I
okay, save it. Save it for next time.
I mean, we say something about dumping the Emperor down because we realize that we shouldn't be with him. We should be hanging out with Luke, even if it kills us.
Sure. So, okay, yeah. Fair enough. I like that. Okay, so when this does go through, is there going to be a huge party maybe? You guys going to have a big blowout?
Oh yeah, we're definitely going to have our volunteers come together and have a celebration as soon as we know we're on the ballot. And from there, it's going to be pretty quick when we have to start organizing around the actual election. I don't know who is going to be the nominee, but I know that the Democratic Party gets to decide who their nominee is. And I'm pretty sure Lucy is locked in unless she wants to step down.
Oh, all right. Okay, very good. Well, I tell you what. Hey, I appreciate you. Putting a finer point on some of this stuff. It's been quite an adventure. If you see Kristen Megan Kelly, tell her I said hi. Ask her how the weight loss journey is going. I know she was very adamant about that. And did you know that she's a veteran?
Yeah, and she's also not a janitor. She's an industrial hygienist
and a scientist. She's a scientist and a veteran, and she's on a weight loss journey.
Yeah, and I also heard she was employed, but
yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. All right. Yep. Joe Spaulding, you are a legend around here, and thank you for the time as always.
Thank you, Eric Zane, for the call.
All right, buddy. Talk to you.
Bye.
See ya. Kobayashi Maru? What? I guess I clipped my mic at the beginning of that. Sorry about that. My bad. Sometimes I do that.
Hi, my name is Kristen Megan Kelly. I'm a veteran, and I'm a veteran. I believe I've called and left a message earlier today. I'm a veteran. I'm just trying to get some feedback from whoever would be in charge. I'm a veteran in making the decision to sponsor the Eric Zane podcast. I'm a veteran. I am the mother. I'm a veteran of a child that he spoke about on his podcast. I'm a veteran in a sexual manner. I'm a veteran, including sex acts that he wants my veteran to perform. I've had the sheriff involved. Several sponsors have already backed out.
I got the sheriff involved.
And I'm a veteran. I believe in nonviolent free market solutions. I'm a veteran, so I greatly support free speech. I'm a veteran, but this is not protected speech. I'm a veteran when discussing sexual acts of a veteran. I'm a veteran. It was an attack on me and my family, and I'm a veteran. It's one thing to have an opinion of adults, but again, it's not protected speech to speak sexually about a 7-year-old girl. I'm a veteran. If you would like to see the evidence, and I have seen on social media someone is messaging people to not talk about it. I'm a veteran, but they want your business to know that your name is slapped behind the screen when he's saying these things. I'm a veteran. You can call me if you'd like. My number is area code 405 694 I'm a veteran, but I would really like to know if your business supports this type of rhetoric. Area code 405 694 8334. I'm a veteran, and I'm a veteran. I would just like to hear back from you. Thank you very much for your understanding and your time. I'm a veteran. Thanks.
Well, Dave says, I like how it's only unprotected speech when it offends them. And you know exactly who I mean by them. Thank you, Dave. Okay, so we're an hour and a half into this show. And I haven't even yet talked about any of the amazing sponsors that help make this show a reality each and every day for now almost 5 years. At some point, I should really, really focus. You get on a roll on this show. I mean, you have great people like Trump on from time to time. Joe Spaulding is an absolute legend. Love him. That you're like, wait a minute. I gotta talk some sponsors here. Thank you to the Grand Rapids Gold. Grand Rapids Gold basketball opens up on Sunday, 3 p.m., Van Andel Arena. You need to be there. You can get tickets at the Grand Rapids Gold website. I think the only thing I have to do is I have to give the Gold a pep talk about buying some domains that link up to their website. Because as it is, their website is, if I have to say it, you're not going to remember it. Literally the best way for me to get you to their website to buy tickets. First of all, if you're listening to the audio podcast, in the show notes, click where it says Grand Rapids Gold is the sponsor. It'll take you right to where you need to be to get tickets for this game. Okay? Tickets range from $14 to $32. Bring the family to the Grand Rapids Gold home opener coming up on Sunday. I want to see you there. You can also search Grand Rapids Gold on Google. Click that. It takes you right to the ticket page. Buy your tickets. Away we go. Go see the Gold. Terrific sponsor of your pal EZ. In fact, I want to share with you a video that I met with a number of the Grand Rapids Gold basketball team for Media Day. And the idea is for you to get to know these players that are on the team. Kuiper says, how do we get courtside tickets? I already told you. You go there and you put down your money. That's what you do, baby. This is me, your old pal EZ, with Blaze Akinobi. He's 7'1". This will be the easiest thing you do all day. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm with Blaze Akinobi from the beautiful country of Nigeria. Isn't that right?
Yes, sir.
You know, Nigeria has some of the greatest athletes ever. Hakeem Olajuwon, you remember him?
Yeah.
I don't know. Did you ever hear of Christian Okoye?
A little bit, yes, I did.
Okay, I don't think he did. He was a fantastic football player. They called him the Nigerian Nightmare for the Kansas City Chiefs. So Blaze is 7'1", as you can see. Ryan says, you look like a goddamn Oompa Loompa next to him. A little bit bigger than your old pal EZ. And I know that in Nigeria, soccer is a gigantic sport. Is it more popular than basketball?
In Nigeria, it is way more popular. The ratio is about 75 to 25 for compared to basketball.
So is that the first sport you played was soccer?
Oh, yeah. I played soccer for about 17 years till I got this tall.
Okay, so growing up in school, you were playing soccer, and then...
Yeah, I was playing soccer my whole life till I got too tall. The soccer ball got a little too small for my feet. So I said, sure, I guess I'm going to go to basketball now. Boom.
Were the coaches trying to recruit you as they saw you get taller and taller?
No coaches for real was trying to recruit me.
No coaches for real was trying to recruit me.
Where I was, it was not a lot of basketball, so like people did not really care. They was just curious about how tall I was. But man, as I went to the gym, started playing basketball, they was like, you so tall.
Did he say, my man?
So come play on my team. It was a little man's league we was doing. They was like, you so tall, come play on my team. So yeah, my height got some basketball attention for sure.
In the off, do you find yourself going back to Nigeria quite a bit to see family?
Oh yeah, I do soon. I ain't seen my family in about 5 years. So yeah, I would love to go see them.
So do they follow you online? This guy is so sweet. Watch you play online and things like that?
Oh yeah, my little brother, my biggest supporter. He really knows. I mean, my family, they don't know a lot about basketball. They just know soccer for real. My little brother, he understands everything. So he be having to explain to them during the games what's going on, what they're seeing at the moment. So yeah, they follow me on social media. We talk like at least 3 times a week.
Well, that's tremendous, and I hope that you can get back to see them, but only after you've had great success. So I'm so thankful that you are here, and I'm looking forward to watching you play. Ladies and gentlemen, Blaze Akinobi.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you for coming to see us. What a smile on this guy. Look at him. Look at him. There you go. Your old pal EZ, making friends. All right, too much fun. Too much fun. Holy crap. I want to see these two reenact the movie poster for the movie The Super, starring Joe Pesci. I wanted him to hold me like a baby. Chris says, stand up, Zane. Well, yeah, he's 7'1". Jesus. Absolute giant. So great. Anyway, go see the Grand Rapids Gold. Red Panda coming up on the November 18th game. Red Panda will be there. I've shown you Red Panda before. You don't know, look it up. Holy crap. Absolutely fantastic. Thank you to the Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage. Okay, get a mortgage from Mario, especially aimed at first-time home buyers. You're like, what the hell am I doing here? How do I even do this? You've got a lot of questions. Let Mario answer them for you. 231-332-6505. No matter where you are in the audience, you can get into a mortgage today and get out of paying rent. 231-332-6505. Thank you to Mario and his crew. We have Joe Martinez in attendance, as always. Aren't we lucky? Joe, A&E Heating and Cooling, the premier furnace tuner-upper kind of guy. 616-516-8579. Call Joe when you want to get your furnace tuned up. The best part is it's free. You have to schedule before December 1. There's been a mad rush of audience members trying to schedule with Joe Martinez since the deadline of December 1 for the free furnace tune-up. Joe has teamed up with DTE to do this. DTE did this with one heating and cooling specialist in West Michigan. All right? They teamed up with 5 in Southeast Michigan. In West Michigan, they teamed up with 1 to offer this. You call Joe. He shows up, tunes up your furnace, and then you pay nothing. You don't have to send in a rebate form or a receipt or proof of purchase or whatever. Joe just passes your information, the information that he tuned up your furnace to DTE, and then they pay him for the furnace tune-up. So you quite literally are getting a free furnace tune-up with no strings attached. Absolutely imperative for you to reach out to Joe to take advantage of this right now. Call him today to schedule it. Then you're locked in. Once you're locked in, that's it. Otherwise, you got to pay for it. 616-516-8579. It's already a great value at just $79. Now it's the best value because it's free. Well done, Joe. I love that. Mediocrity Dave says that he just took advantage of that yesterday. He says it's easy as fuck. Jimmy in Maine checking in. All right. Ryan says he's calling Joe now. Yeah, I'm looking. Joe is actually still in attendance. So that means the stream is going to be interrupted as Ryan is calling him to schedule. Okay. So, again, you have until December 1, and the spots are filling up fast. All right. Joe writes, go blue. All right, enough. Enough with your stupid Michigan shit. He says, go blue, I'm in a meeting. Well, anyway, leave a message with Joe, and he'll help you out. Go blue. Like you guys went to the school. Jesus. Okay, we have a story that kind of goes with all the crazy shit that's happening in the Middle East, which, by the way, boy, talk about a circumstance that, wow, you have on October 7, 1,400 Jews are murdered by these Hamas psychopaths. About 250 other Jews are taken and being held hostage in Gaza. Israel opens up a can of whoop ass. They tell all the civilians, leave northern Gaza because we're going to blow it up. Not all of them get out. People, men, women, and children, Palestinians die every day because of attacks on Gaza from Israel. Gets to a point where the world is saying, all right, Israel, you got to call a ceasefire. Netanyahu says, fuck that. I'm not calling anything. Give us our hostages back, and then that's step 1. You're on step 2. We still have to get to step 1. I'm not calling any ceasefire till you fucking motherfuckers give us our people back. It's kind of hard to argue with that, right? Is that not fair? I mean, a lot of people in the world today are saying that for humanitarian reasons, we have to let the stop attacking, or Israel has to stop attacking Gaza. By extension, the U.S. is attacking Gaza. There's pissed off people all over the world that protesting in D.C., protesting in various cities throughout the United States about, come on, stop it, quit attacking. Oh, hold on a second here. Again, Israelis attacked, killed in cold blood, just people just driving down the street, women, men, children murdered, slaughtered, whole families wiped out, whole families taken. Israel responds in kind. And then the Palestinians are like, whoa, wait. Okay, if Hamas cared so much about Palestinians, they would. First of all, this shouldn't have happened. I mean, say what you will about the way life is over there, but they had to have expected this. This is if you're Hamas and the Palestinians, that's a suicide mission the day you shoot the first Jew. Because this is what you would expect to happen. Did you think they'd just shrug and say, oh, well, that's it? Well, fuck that. So Netanyahu was saying, well, no, there will be no ceasefire. We wouldn't even consider it because you still have our people. So the Israeli army is blowing the fuck out of Gaza and searching it, looking for okay, I don't think that these hostages are going to survive, if they are even still alive. The Gaza Strip will be no more than rubble. And Israel has said, after we root out Hamas, person by person, we then give it all back to Gaza and then find the right people in Gaza who want to lead without terrorism being the backbone of their governing. But the problem with that is they're basically just going to be giving back land with rubble on it because they're blowing everything up. Now, I don't have any answers, but that's all what's happening right now. And it's very difficult to say, well, all right, just go and blow them all up. But you have to consider it from both sides. The men, women, and children in Gaza who are being killed every day, and the Israelis who don't want this threat by them anymore after what happened on October 7th. Interesting. And horrible. Absolutely horrible. Closer to home, there are all sorts of attacks on Jewish people. In this case, this lady who is Palestinian, Ruba Al-Maghlahla, 34-year-old lady, decided she had had enough. And she was going to kill some Jews. So she smashed her car into what she thought was a school for Jews, to kill Jews. All right. She said she snapped and she jumped in her car and plowed into the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge in Indianapolis, Indiana on Friday, thinking it was a pro-Jewish school or organization. No one was injured. She's being charged with a hate crime because she admitted that that's why she attacked the school. She said she couldn't breathe anymore watching the news and referenced her people back in Palestine. Thus, it's a hate crime. However, the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge is not anything that is pro-Israel or pro-Jew or a Jew school or anything Jew. The Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge is actually an extremist organization that is anti-Israel. In fact, the Southern Poverty Law Center has designated the organization as a hate group. So she just thought that the name of the place, it was like pro-Jew because it was Israelite School of, and I don't blame her. I mean, if I'm a pissed off Palestinian and I want to go kill some Jews, I would start at a place called Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge. But the assholes who run that joint, they hate Jews too. But yet they named it Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge. How can you expect to get anybody to support you who is anti-Jew if the name of the place suggests that you are pro-Jew? That is a horrible move by them. I mean, it's terrible enough that she smashed her car hoping to kill some Jewish people. And she looks like an idiot, but she thought, hey, I thought they hated Jews or I thought they loved Jews there. But in fact, those are like her people. She's like, oh, sorry. My God. The lady said she had passed by a couple of times and saw the, quote, Israel school, police said. And she also said, yes, I did it on purpose. So she was arrested for criminal recklessness and now is being charged for a hate crime. And she didn't even, she could very well have killed a Palestinian there. This is going on all over the place, too. I mean, it's a good thing we don't have any Jews or Muslims here in Ottawa County, because that would be bad. All right. Well, frankly, if you're a Jew or a Muslim or Arab, whatever, if you're a Muslim, an Arab, or a Jew and you're in Ottawa County, not just now, but any time, that's a bad place to be. You don't want to be around. This is not where you belong. Okay? Hell, I'm barely tolerated. The U.S. Department of Homeland Security has issued a warning that the intensification of Israeli airstrikes on Hamas targets in Gaza would keep the United States on a heightened threat environment in the near to medium term. Yeah, shit's going to go down here, I can promise you. Last week, FBI Director Christopher Wray told a Senate panel that while Jewish people make up 2.4% of the U.S. population, they are the targets of nearly 60% of all religious-based hate crimes. Okay? So, Rabbi Dave, who's Saul's dad, I should get Saul on here. Let's see what's going on with Rabbi Dave. I haven't talked to Saul in a while. Okay. Hey, Eric. Hopefully they have some security at Temple. I would think so. These Jews, they're always armed to the teeth. Come on, Saul. He's always trying to get on here. Hey, Eric.
You have reached the cell phone of Solomon Khrushchev. I am not available to take your call right now.
Sounds like a robot.
So please leave a message, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Thank you, and enjoy your day.
At the tone, please record your message. When you've finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options. To leave a callback number, press 5.
Hey, Saul, it's EZ. I was just calling you on the podcast to talk to you about all this craziness going on in the homeland. So, yeah, give me a call. I want to see how your dad's doing over at Temple, because this is some crazy times going on, Saul. Okay, call me back.
If you're satisfied with the message, press 1. To listen to your message, press 2. To erase and message review.
Hey, Saul, it's EZ. I was just calling you on the podcast.
I don't know why. I just got an urge to call people. I want to talk to Stu now. Hi, Darla. Hello, baby. Hi, honey. Come on, Stu. Are you kidding me? Everybody, no one wants to talk to your old pal EZ. Tyler says, in the meantime, we can listen to Saul's intros that he recorded for us. I don't know. I don't know if I have one nearby. It's been so long since. Well, I think I've played it relatively recently. I don't know. I'm running out of gas here.
A lot of people started talking about this in there.
Jamingo. All right. Never mind. Joe Martinez says, I'll talk to you. Oh, fuck yes. That's what I'm talking about.
¿Qué chingados quieres, pinche pendejo baboso, que no sabes que Harbaugh es el mejor de todos los cabrones que están ya llorando como unos pinches putas?
You know, I know that was nasty, and I know it was about Harbaugh.
Yeah.
Yeah, how did you become such a Michigan fan? Take me through that, Joe Martinez.
I've always been a Michigan fan.
Since you were like a young man?
Yes, sir. Anthony Carter, Bo Schembechler, those were the days, man.
Okay, so,
you know.
Yeah, that's probably pretty frustrating when you hear me dogging them all the time.
I don't care because, you know, these guys are haters, man. You know, and
there was a time. I'm sorry. There was a time when Harbaugh stunk, though. Did you want him fired?
No. He's a Michigan man.
What does that mean? He's a Michigan man just because he's a California man.
No, he's a Michigan
man. He's out of California.
But he went to Michigan.
All right, now
he was a quarterback at Michigan.
So let's just say Mark D'Antonio is the coach of Michigan. Is he?
No, he'll never be a coach in Michigan.
What if he is and he wins all his games?
He won't be a coach in Michigan. He won't allow that shit.
You know, how bad is Michigan going to beat Penn State?
Actually, you know, it's going to be a big game. I mean, Michigan will pull it out. I don't think they're going to blow them out like they've done everybody else. I mean, I think it'll be like 27-21 final score.
Do you know how badly I'm gonna go hard on you guys if Michigan loses?
If they lose, and if when, I shouldn't say if, but when they win, I want you to get down on your knees on Monday and ask for forgiveness from everybody.
What are you talking about? Ask for forgiveness? No, I just go on to the next game. I want you to, they're going to lose to Maryland then.
They're not going to lose to Maryland, man. We're not Ohio State.
And I predict you're going to be 9-3 at the end of the year.
Nope. You know, because Day is the one that's behind this whole scheme, and that's why the Big Ten and the NCAA is afraid of Michigan, because they know they have no evidence, no proof. I mean, okay, let's look at it this way. Now, if they come out with evidence showing legit evidence that Harbaugh knew and all that, hey, then yeah, he needs to get punished. I'm not against that. Okay, but the problem is that they have no evidence showing that he did anything wrong. And if Ohio State is behind the whole thing, it's because they can't beat Michigan. Not like Urban Meyer used to be able to beat on Michigan when Harbaugh was coach. You know, so it's all a conspiracy theory, and the NCAA is afraid of Michigan, and so is the Big Ten commissioner, because they don't want to get sued.
Well, maybe.
You know, like I said, show me the evidence. Show me the proof.
Show me the money. Show me the
money.
Show me the pesos.
And then you just jump on this bandwagon, you know, just like the Detroit Lions. Thanksgiving's around the corner. We'll see. I'm kind of not. I mean, I'm a Lions fan. Don't get me wrong, but I've seen it way too many times.
All right. Well,
you know, I mean, you guys are. I'm older than you guys, so I know I got more wisdom than you do.
Oh, give me a break. You're retarded.
How am I retarded? Huh?
Let me ask you this. Thanksgiving coming at the Martinez household. Are you staying home? Is everybody coming to your house? What's going on?
Only a few are coming to my house.
Is it okay? Is it like a Mexican celebration?
No. I get tired of that shit.
You get tired of Mexican food?
Yep.
All right. Now, is David gonna? Does David? He can make some fucking Chinese Italian food.
Well, if they come over, he'll bring some like white rice and stuff like that. I'll probably either do a deep fried turkey or a smoked turkey, because my mom is not going to do it this year. She takes like every 3 years off because then everybody else kind of does their own thing, you know?
Okay.
And so this year she's not doing it because it's technically not her turn. So
yes. No, she should be relaxing. That's what she should be doing.
So I'll probably do like maybe a deep fried turkey. So
when you're referring to an uncle in Spanish, that's tia, right? Or tío? That's tío?
Tío. T-I-O.
But you don't say tío, you say tío.
Tío, yeah.
And
like kind of like it would be kind of like saying tío, T-H-E-O.
Theo.
Yeah.
And
Theo.
Theo and Thea.
Thea. See, and you say Thea, the I is more pronounced in Thea than it is in Theo.
Right. I picked that up. I picked this up from Breaking Bad because Tuco Salamanca used to always refer to as Don Hector as Theo.
Uh-huh.
I don't know why that popped into my head, but I'm trying to pick these things up as I go.
Well, you should.
Absolutely. Hey, did you hear my suggestion about how we can open the border?
Oh, the border's already open. What are you waiting? What are you talking about, man?
This is what we need to do. We need to have a 5-star hotel at the border. And then
they already do, man. You know?
I don't want to see any more Mexican babies crossing the Rio Grande.
They get better treatment than the rest of us do.
I don't know about that. We need more Mexicans.
Bring them all over.
Yep.
That's what I say.
That's what I say too.
Just bring them all over, and then we can get rid of the dump. What's his name? Trump.
Yes.
Trump dump.
I want the good people. I even want the drug mules. We need to take care of the drug mules so that they bring good drugs into the country.
Oh, what? They already do that anyways.
Excellent. The
funny thing about it is this is how dumb America is, because they're saying, well, it's crossing the borders and all that. Okay, now you look at Hamas. Now, they have all these tunnels buried underneath their city.
Right.
And so Israel's having a hard time trying to track them all down because of these tunnels. It's the same with the cartels. They got all the tunnels and everything. And so, these guys are thinking that because they're catching people at the border with drugs, you know how many are coming through the tunnels underneath?
Oh yeah. You can be in Mexico City in 1 minute, and then they've got a high-speed train that goes under the continent. They wind up in New York City in 8 minutes later.
Yeah. Well, it's like our families down there. They know when I go to the bathroom. Now they'll call up and say, "Hey, go in the bathroom." Yeah, he's in the bathroom. It's just how fast it is.
Yep. I mean, my God, you can be taking a dump in your cousin's house, and all of a sudden a little door opens on the floor, and your nephew's sticking his head up.
Exactly.
Yes.
I mean, come on. It's ridiculous. And they say, "Oh, close the border. Go ahead. We'll just bring them into the tunnels. No big deal."
Exactly. Everybody loves you on here. You're like the favorite star of this show. How does that feel, knowing that you have such a talent for podcasting?
I just talk, man. I talk. I got a lot of practice of it when I was a deacon at church, and I'd have to get up in front of the whole audience and talk, so.
You mean like, so you're a deacon at a Catholic church?
No, I didn't. I'm a Christian church, man. I don't go to Catholic. I never went to a Catholic church.
Oh, okay.
I don't get into all the Hail Marys. The only Hail Marys I get into are the ones that they throw in football.
Oh, all right. Okay, very good. There you go. Back to football.
I could never understand how, standing, kneeling, and, worshiping the Virgin Mary. I mean, I get it, but, it's not how
Catholics. Catholics, they talk to Mary, they talk to the saints. It's all there's a lot going on there. There's a lot of different points, to be sure.
Well, yeah, and that's why, like, when we go to Mexico, they have those festivals for San Miguel, which is the Saint Miguel.
Right.
And so, they have basically they got to have a reason to have a party all the time.
Exactly. Yep.
To celebrate it. So, but I mean, hey, it is what it is. I mean, I think everybody just likes it because of my Spanish, and because I can tell you things in Spanish, and you're freaking clueless to what I'm telling you. And you just agree with it.
Yep, sounds good. All right, well, hey, be good today. All right, it's good to hear your voice.
Will do.
All right,
go
get out of here. Yeah,
go
Griffins. There you go. There you go, Joe Martinez, absolute saint. The Mexican Hyperloop. Oh, yeah. All these saps trying to walk across. It's like, come on, just take the train. That's what we need. Thank you, Joe Martinez. All right. Just call me. I can talk. I got something to say. So does Throat Stab, /Dale, 231-740-40. Oh, boy. 231-740-4098 for superior cleaning and power washing. Reach out to Dale. Can also janitorial services, just like Kristen, Megan, Kelly. He can clean up the restaurant, clean up the hoods with a licensed effort on his part. Superior cleaning and power washing at 231-740-4098. Thanks to Blue Frost IT, the managed IT service provider for this show. If you have any tech issues you need taken care of in the workplace, you call them 616-200-8550. And last but not least, Frank Fuss from My Policy Shop Insurance. Okay, when it comes time to getting set up with healthcare.gov or Obamacare, yes, you can just go to healthcare.gov and do it yourself. But why? It's quicker, first of all. It's free when Frank does it for you. Have Frank Fuss help you out. So if you are between jobs, your employer does not offer insurance, or you're self-employed, you need health care. Get it through healthcare.gov with the help of Frank Fuss. Go to buyinsurancehere.com. That's buyinsurancehere.com and get started today. Again, no cost to you. Everything is free. He gets paid by the insurance companies. Yesterday's TC Paintball Asshole of the Day was Caleb Williams. And boy, was that awesome. That's the guy, the football player for USC, who cried to his mommy when they didn't win the football game. What an asshole. Who is your asshole of the day today? Any suggestions? Otherwise, I will choose. Let's see. Harbaugh. We talked about Harbaugh. We talked about Trump. And, Trump was a huge asshole. There's no question. Talked about Ottawa County. But despite his appearances on this show, we got to go with Trump. That's your asshole of the day. Holy cow. Thank you. All right, folks. As always, I appreciate you. That is it. That is my time on this Tuesday, November 7th edition of the Eric Zane Show podcast. Please tell your friends. And I will talk to you a little bit later on. Have a good one, folks. Bye-bye.